the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate. There are moments in life when a human being reaches a level of fear and helplessness that cannot even be described with words. Moments when the heart feels trapped, when the future looks completely dark, when every door appears closed and every path seems blocked. Moments when you sit alone at night carrying thoughts so heavy that nobody around you can understand them, and you begin to wonder how much longer you can continue carrying the weight inside your chest. Sometimes it is anxiety about the future, sometimes it is loneliness. Sometimes it is fear, failure, heartbreak, financial stress, family pain, or silent struggles that no human being knows except Allah. And in moments like these, the prophets of Allah taught us something extraordinary. They taught us that even when the entire world abandons you, Allah never abandons His servant, and they left behind du'as so powerful that one of them transformed the raging fire into peace and safety, while another pierced through layers of darkness in the depths of the ocean and became the reason for miraculous salvation. These are not ordinary du'as. These are not simply words that are recited by the tongue while the heart remains absent. These are du'as spoken by prophets during moments where survival itself seemed impossible, moments where there was no worldly escape remaining, moments where every apparent means of protection had disappeared completely. Yet in those moments of complete helplessness, their certainty in Allah became stronger than the fear surrounding them, and that is why these du'as continue to move the hearts of believers until today. The first of these du'as was spoken by a young boy standing completely alone against an entire nation, drunk with arrogance and disbelief. The fire prepared for Ibrahim alaihissalam was not a small fire. It was not something simple or ordinary. The people gathered wood for days and nights, feeding the flames until they rose into the sky like mountains of destruction. The heat became so intense that nobody could physically approach it. Birds flying above it would fall from the sky because of its unbearable heat. Thousands of people gathered to watch what they believed would be the humiliating end of a young man who dared to challenge the religion and power of an entire civilization. And who was standing in front of them? Not an army, not an old king, not a wealthy ruler surrounded by protection. It was a young boy. Ibrahim alaihissalam was young, isolated, rejected by society, and abandoned even by his own father. Imagine the scene for a moment. Soldiers surrounding him from every direction, the tyrant king watching proudly. The crowds waiting to witness his destruction, the flames roaring violently before his eyes. The sound of the fire shaking the air itself, the unbearable heat touching the faces of everyone nearby, and in the middle of all of that terror stood Ibrahim alaihissalam with a heart more peaceful than the hearts of the people watching him. Why? Because Ibrahim knew something the rest of the world did not know. He understood that when Allah is with you, nothing in creation can harm you unless Allah allows it. He understood that kings possess no power except the power Allah gives them. He understood that fire itself cannot burn unless Allah commands it to burn. He understood that every force in existence remains under the control of its creator every second of every moment. And so, as they prepared to throw him into the fire, as death appeared only moments away, Ibrahim alaihissalam spoke words that believers would continue repeating until the end of time. He said, Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakil, Allah is sufficient for us, and He is the best disposer of affairs. Think carefully about the power hidden inside those words. Ibrahim was not saying them casually. These words came from a heart completely filled with certainty in Allah. There was no panic in his voice, no desperation, no hatred, no fear, only complete trust. A trust so deep that it shook the heavens and changed the nature of creation itself. Because the moment Ibrahim placed his affair entirely in the hands of Allah, the impossible became reality. And then Allah commanded the fire itself. The same flames that moments earlier were roaring with destruction suddenly lost their heat. The fire that was meant to kill Ibrahim became coolness and peace. The place prepared for torture became like a beautiful garden. Imagine the shock of the people watching. Imagine their disbelief as the young man they expected to see destroyed walked safely through the flames under the protection of Allah. Because when Allah decides to protect someone, no force in existence can overcome His command.
But these words were not only for Ibrahim alaihissalam. Years later, another terrifying moment would arrive for the believers during the life of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. An army of 10,000 enemies surrounded Medina from every direction, while the Muslims were starving, exhausted, and severely outnumbered. Every road leading into the city was blocked. Supplies were cut off. Hunger spread through the homes of the believers. Days passed without proper food. Fear surrounded the city, night after night, and death seemed closer with every passing hour. Imagine the emotional state of the believers during those days. Mothers worrying for their children, men preparing themselves for what appeared to be certain death. The cold desert nights filled with uncertainty and fear. The Muslims were not superheroes. They were human beings. They felt hunger. They felt exhaustion. They felt fear. But despite all of this, they never lost trust in Allah. And this is something important many people forget. Trust in Allah does not mean abandoning effort. The believers dug the trench with their own hands. They prepared themselves physically. They stood guard through the freezing nights. They exhausted every possible worldly means available to them. And only after doing everything within human ability did they completely place the outcome in the hands of Allah. And once again, the believers turned toward these same powerful words, Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakil. Then Allah responded in a way nobody could have imagined. During the darkness of night, violent winds descended upon the enemy camps. Terror spread through their armies. Fires were extinguished. Tents collapsed. Sand and dust filled the air so violently that panic consumed them from every direction. Confusion spread among the enemy until the massive army that looked unstoppable vanished before sunrise without a single battle taking place, without swords clashing, without the Muslims leaving Medina. Because when Allah protects His servants, no army on earth can overpower them. Then came another prophet, another test, another darkness. But this time, the darkness would be deeper than most people can even imagine. Yunus alaihissalam. Imagine standing in the middle of a violent ocean during the darkness of night, while thunder shakes the heavens above you, and massive waves crash endlessly around you. Imagine cold rain pouring from the sky, while the ship beneath your feet struggles against the violent sea. And then suddenly, you are thrown into the freezing water with no land in sight, no light to guide you, no rescue coming for you, and no human being able to save you. This was the reality of Yunus alaihissalam. And then Allah commanded a great whale to swallow him whole. Darkness surrounded him from every direction. The darkness of the night, the darkness of the ocean depths, the darkness inside the whale itself. Darkness upon darkness upon darkness, until there was no sound except fear, and no protection except Allah alone. Try to imagine the terror of that moment, completely trapped, unable to escape, unable to see anything around you. Deep beneath the ocean, where no human voice could ever reach, most people would collapse under fear before surviving even a fraction of that experience. But in that terrifying darkness, Yunus alaihissalam realized something that every believer must eventually realize in life. When every worldly support disappears, Allah still remains. So from the depths of the ocean and from inside the whale, Yunus called upon Allah with words that continue shaking the hearts of believers until today. He said, La ilaha illa anta subhanaka, inni kuntu minaz zalimin. There is no God except you. Glory be to you. Truly, I was among the wrongdoers. Notice the beauty and humility inside this dua. Yunus did not blame Allah for his suffering. He did not ask, why is this happening to me? He did not accuse Allah of injustice. Instead, he humbled himself completely before his Lord. He admitted his weakness. He admitted his mistakes. He acknowledged the perfection of Allah and the imperfection within himself. And because of that sincerity, Allah responded to him with mercy. The Quran tells us that Allah rescued Yunus from his distress, and then Allah gives every believer hope until the end of time by saying, "And thus do we save the believers." Not only Yunus, not only the prophets, every believer who sincerely turns back to Allah during moments of darkness and pain.
Maybe your darkness is not inside a whale, and maybe your trial is not a fire burning before your eyes. But your darkness may be anxiety that keeps you awake at night, loneliness that nobody understands, depression that silently consumes your heart, fear about the future, financial struggles, family pain, heartbreak, guilt, or battles hidden deep inside your soul that nobody around you can see. But the Lord who saved Ibrahim from the fire and rescued Yunus from the depths of the ocean is still the same Lord today. Allah has not changed. His mercy has not changed. His power has not changed. And your problems are not greater than His mercy. Never underestimate the power of sincere dua. Never think your situation is beyond the help of Allah. Because one sincere dua transformed fire into peace, another pierced through the darkness of the ocean, and one sincere call to Allah can completely change the course of your life forever. If this reminder touched your heart, then continue spreading these reminders, so that hearts lost in darkness may once again find their way back to Allah. May Allah bring peace to every anxious heart, light to every darkness, ease to every hardship, and may He make us among those who trust Him completely during every test and every trial of this life. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.